Today on What Went Wrong? When twists go wrong. Hi, I'm Brett Mauser, and of all the many, many films I've made, I don't think I've ever done Aliens. Have I ever done Aliens? Aliens ever been...
Your writing's never been that bad, really, I don't think.
Well, today we're going to be talking about the twist or the solution or the explanation of a great buildup. Now, I will be the first one to defend bad endings because they are so tough to write. The journey is not getting to the destination. It is the journey itself.
Sometimes it's hard to stick the dismount.
Yeah. And what I enjoy about that film is seeing the crew come together, go up and down these hills and valleys, trying to get to that destination.
Right.
And it's not very often that the conclusion, even in my favorite films, that the conclusion, that ending really always necessarily is up to it.
George Lucas gave us Ewoks.
Yeah.
Really? The whole thing with that going on. It's like we had to have Luke and his father and the Emperor up on the Death Star. And it's like we just couldn't put everybody else on the shelf, just kind of on Endor, just kind of looking up at the Death Star like.
So that's not to say that aliens are uncool in a movie.
Yeah.
You give me an E.T. where the whole story is about the alien.
Yeah. Aliens.
Yeah. But when you get weird stuff going on, and if I go into a movie and maybe, in some ways, like ghosts, if I know that there's a ghost throughout the whole movie, cool. But then I'm going to be much more impressed if at the end you show me how some mortal human was able to manipulate and twist and con these people into believing that there was an alien or there was a ghost. I'm on board with that.
So you love the Scooby-Doo episodes.
Yeah. Rather than at the end go, oh, it was a ghost all along. And TV shows used to do that all the time when they had the false conclusion, which was like, oh, this is what it was, and then they creep and do the slow pan up to the attic, and now there's this chair sweeping it, and then it dissolves into a little old lady or whatever.
Or the
yeah. And it's like, no, you already said it was this dude, doing it for the insurance money or whatever. But if it's about that, and the twist and that what's going on, what's happening is this great, path for the audience to follow and a mystery to solve.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And then when you reach the end of it, sometimes it's out of nowhere and sometimes it's like the good example I think is The Knowing. With the numbers.
Yes.
Where you're like, what is going on? Oh, this is creepy. What's going on? And now we have Noah, and we have E.T. Noah, and picking up two people and flinging them away.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I know. I was
cool with the Earth being destroyed and all that, but it was like, aliens.
Really?
And you brought this up several times in terms of signs and it is. It's just this. It seems like a cop-out.
Yeah.
I'm working on a script right now that we'll be producing this year, which has sci-fi elements to it, and it is this sort of a what's going on kind of a thing. And while there could be some people that may be watching the movie and going, "Oh, it's aliens," I'm not going in either direction, really.
Right.
And that's the charm, and that's what's really cool about this movie. I think that's why so many people said it's the best script I've ever written.
Right.
It was just this. The journey is about the journey, and you may or may not figure out or find out what that mystery is.
Right.
Sometimes that's the best way to go.
Right. So of course we talk about science, and I'm just like, but then there's like Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai, where it's kind of like aliens have to be part of it because that's the whole point.
Yeah, there's like a Star Trek or
Star Trek. There's aliens. Independence Day. those are aliens, and that's perfectly okay. I'm perfectly okay with
Alien invasion movies, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
that. Mars attacks. I mean, if we are going for the trope of it is aliens, I'm on board. I have no problem. I mean, Superman's an alien.
Yeah.
I have no problem accepting the premise that aliens are real for the purposes of your movie. And, well, aliens are real. I mean, I want proof. But anyway, for the movie itself, disbelieve, blah, 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 blah. So I have no problem with your movie being aliens.
Yeah. Well, see, here to me, it's like if you know that you're just going to make it aliens at the end, and you're going to do the Asimov magic, magic is indistinguishable, or science is indistinguishable from magic.
Yeah.
If you're just going to pull that card at the end, then you can do anything and pull anything out of your ass you want to.
Right.
You can make people vanish and blink, with a blink of an eye if you're going to just say, "Oh, it's aliens."
Yeah.
And you don't have to explain how this person was just sucked up into the sky. I want to know you've abolished any responsibility of you giving a logical explanation for what just happened.
Right.
And to me, that's a cop-out. To me, that's an easy thing because then now you're lost.
Yeah.
And I'm referring to the TV show.
Yeah.
Where you're just throwing, let's put a polar bear in just to with the audience. And by the end of the time, it's like, this is what it was? This is what...
Come
and it's like,
on.
because we didn't know what we were doing. We were just... his freaking...
J.J. Abrams.
His freaking mystery box.
Yeah.
Just throwing things in there with no real... I mean, you could have made it aliens... in Lost.
Well, and the thing is, but for ghosts and aliens both, okay. As I said, I like aliens. I don't mind it being ghosts. Okay, the others, kind of a twist about ghosts. The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, but I want to interject there is that, but the movie was about ghosts.
Yeah.
She thought she was being haunted.
Right.
So you've already set up, hey.
Well, she thought things were going wrong, and then she thought somebody else was whatever. And so she thought there were ghosts there. What she didn't... Okay, spoilers. What she didn't realize is the things that she thought were ghosts were actual people who were actually alive. And they were the ghosts. And so that I'm totally on board with. Because I don't mind the twist at the end. When the old woman says, "How did you die?" And everyone's like, "What?" And I'm like, what? I loved it. Okay, I loved that. The Sixth Sense. I didn't know. I mean, at the very end, when the reveal happened, I was like, no way!
But again, I call back to the whole movie was about ghosts.
The whole movie was about ghosts because the kid was seeing I see dead people.
You established the universe.
We established the universe. Exactly. That's the point I'm getting to. When I have Ghost Whisperer, it's in the title. I am well aware that they're going to be ghosts. If you give me aliens, no. This is Ghost Whisperer, not Alien Whisperer. That's a different TV series. You need to take the aliens over there. If you give me a horror movie, and then you spring aliens on me, if signs had been ghosts, I would have accepted that. Because it was about strange things happening and blah, blah, blah. And I was already prepared because of Sixth Sense to accept ghosts. He was a priest. And so, I mean, as Catholics and religious, you accept that ghosts exist. I mean, the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. It's in the Bible, Now, it may not be the way you think it is. It's not the whole, spooky, whatever. But the whole concept is you can have a character who is established to understand that supernatural things happen. And him being a priest, or a minister, I don't know if he was an actual priest, because I think he was Presbyterian, doesn't matter. He would have been open to the concept of supernatural. Okay? But then you take, or the movie, the TV series Supernatural. It's about ghosts and demons and things. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Gonna have vampires.
Gonna have vampires in it. And ghouls and goblins and things and the gentlemen and werewolves, okay? And we're okay with that. At no point did they spring aliens on us, okay? And that's the point. if you give me a trope, and it's the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, the audience is willing to accept, and you give me, you're taking me to this movie, and all of a sudden you give me aliens, okay, and you didn't set it up, aliens, like the movie, I don't know, Aliens. I wonder what this movie's about. I wonder if it's aliens. Did they call it ghosts? No, it's called aliens. They're in there. Independence Day, and the poster is a gigantic ship, V. We're aware that they're aliens. Okay? The big ships show up, and they're in the air, and these guys come off, and their voices are jacked up. And they're like, hi, we're aliens. Yeah, you are. Okay? And so we've accepted it. It's when you give me a trope. It's when if you gave me Sleepy Hollow. Okay, now Sleepy Hollow, I liked Sleepy Hollow because it was a ghost, or it was a wraith spirit kind of thing. But the thing about it wasn't doing it on its own. That was the twist for me in that one. I was like, wait, what? And so I loved Sleepy Hollow. Okay, the performances of the characters were also fantastic, and Johnny Depp can do anything, and I like watching him. Johnny Depp, I'm not sure I could hang out with him because he seems a little whatever. But when I watch him do a movie, and I've seen him do movies that aren't even movies I like to watch, because I was married for a long time, so I watched a lot of movies I didn't want to watch. And I've seen him in other movies, and he was fantastic. And so I can accept certain things from that actor, from stuff he's in, everything else like that. That twist at the end, where it was a ghost, obviously, but you weren't sure. You thought it was. Everyone says, oh, it's the Headless Horseman. And you're like, okay, whatever. It's somebody else. It's got to be a guy on a horse chopping people's heads off. Okay. And I thought, when it turns out, I was like, nope, it's an actual ghost. I was like, ugh. I started to be irritated. I started to be mad. But then they turned it on me again. I'm like, and they changed it, and all of a sudden it became back to the mystery. Because it's not a mystery if it's a ghost. It's an actual ghost. Well, okay, mystery solved. It's a ghost. That's how it's doing what it's doing. But then when you change it again, that was fantastic. So you led me down this path of a mystery, of a murder mystery. And then you gave me an avenging angel spirit, not an angel, but you gave me a wraith. I'm like, oh, god damn it. But then, the race being controlled by humans. Back to the murder mystery. It's like, it's not. So at that point, it's not so much that the headless horseman is a murder weapon.
I was about to say it's a hint along the way. It's
the headless horseman.
Now you found the murder weapon, and now you've got a.
The headless horseman is not the point of the story. He's a murder weapon being used by somebody else, and we're back to the murder mystery again. And so you had me, you lost me, and then immediately brought me right back. Fantastic. Okay, so it's not like you can't take me down a false path. Okay, Sixth Sense took me down a false path. What's his name's going to help this boy deal with his ghosts? Nope, the boy's going to help him deal with being a ghost. Boom. Okay. So I'm okay with all that. Lead me down a path of a murder mystery. Lead me down the path of a ghost story. Lead me down the path of the aliens. All right. It's when you start mixing me. If you give me Ghost Whisperer and I'm watching Ghost Whisperer and all of a sudden aliens show up. No. If I'm watching Independence Day and all of a sudden ghosts are fighting along with everybody. Okay? It's one of the reasons I had a little problem with Lord of the Rings. We have a cavalry charge. We have this huge battle. And then we introduce the Ghost Army. Like, really? And so, you see the thing? So that's how I feel about the whole aliens thing. It's just not so much that I don't like aliens. I love aliens. There's show pictures of me with aliens. Me and aliens like hanging out. You're wearing your Thing jersey or your Thing shirt with aliens on dinosaurs.
Yeah,
I was there for that, and you know what? If you come to me sometimes like, hey, you want to go over and see? Yes, I want to go see the Thing again.
Literally,
and I'm going to pay full price. Because I do like the aliens. I do like the ghosts. I do like the murder mysteries. I do like the stuff. But if you use the aliens like signs, seems kind of like a cop-out. If you use aliens in one of my favorite movies, Watcher in the Woods. Okay? Now, Watcher in the Woods is the original is a 1970s, 60s, I think it's like late 70s ghost movie, basically, that Disney made. And the initial release, it was an alien. And it was, first of all, the alien didn't look very convincing. Mm-hmm. But more than that, it was just, you're going through this, it's ghosts. And now it's an alien. It's like, oh, God, and so everyone hated it as they should. This is back in the 70s, before we had as sophisticated audiences as we have now. Because audience now, this is 50 years ago gone by. It's much more sophisticated now, or not 40 years ago gone by. But back then they weren't. Okay, but still they hated it. Why? Because you took a left turn. It's been ghosts. It's been it's been spirits. It's been something watching someone. It's been spooky, scary, whatever. And you give me aliens. They changed the ending. Okay, and it still made it kind of a interdimensional kind of weird thing where it's not fully explained, but the concept is you're still dealing with a supernatural kind of event. Okay, much more accepted as an ending because we had supernatural ghosts and we kept supernatural, maybe not ghosts, but still something that is unexplained and supernatural and not aliens. Okay, I'm okay with that. One of my favorite movies had to have aliens. I'd have hated it. I would have hated it like I hated it from when I was a kid, because it was from when I was a kid, because it was so good until the last 10 minutes. And then, And so that's what the problem I have with a lot of the movies where they take these really cool things and then they give them the Crystal Skull. It's like, oh, really? You couldn't keep what you had going? You had my adventure movie, you had my ghosts, you had my murder mystery, you had my supernatural whatever, and then you give me aliens. Stop doing that. We're gonna make a new law. The alien.
I would have rather combined, was it Iron Sky, with the Crystal Skull, and had it all been about Hitler had escaped to the Earth or escaped to the moon and was raising that. And that was the skull was a telecommunication device between Hitler and the moon.
If we're gonna go batshit, let's just go batshit. Okay, if it's gonna be absolutely bonkers, Mars Attacks. Mars Attacks is bonkers. It's absolutely madcap. Makes no sense. None of it makes any sense. None of that movie makes any sense whatsoever. But you know what?
Not supposed to.
It's not supposed to. It's Mars Attacks. Look at it.
And that's why I'll say, like I watched the whole Matt Houston series.
I love you some Matt Houston.
And of course, there was especially in the 70s and 80s, they'd always have maybe on a Halloween or one episode throughout the entire run. They'd have some creepy UFO episode.
Everything. Every series back then had that. The 70s and 80s.
And Houston did that. He solved the crime. It was a balloon, and they caught the guy who was doing it. But then there was that one night that he was out on there that the balloon wasn't. So what was that?
Yeah.
And it was just, and they were ripping off Close Encounters in some shots and things like that.
Yeah.
I can forgive that. It's a one episode. It's a fun thing. It's a Halloween episode, or it's this or it's that.
There's no rules in Halloween.
Yeah.
Halloween is the same for humans as it is for the movies. There's no freaking rules. You can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
You can have because it almost like the audience will actually let you go with that this, whatever it is, exists out of wherever you are because it's the Halloween episode. And because the thing, the commercials, a special Halloween episode of, Different Strokes or Matt Houston or A-Team, whatever it is. A special Halloween episode, and everything's just bat weird. Okay? And the audience is going to get because it's almost like, and you could see...
It's you step outside
You step outside the series. The actors can have fun without being...
I mean, even X-Files did that.
Yeah.
They went into a haunted house, and it got crazy. They killed themselves. It was a crazy thing, and they walked out, and it was a reset.
Yeah.
You could forget the episode ever happened.
Yeah. There's nothing in that episode that makes any sense anywhere, and you could have Matt Houston seeing aliens. You could have...
Little House on the Prairie, the Headless Horseman shows up.
The Headless Horseman shows up. Yeah. What? That's not what... No, that's not where, First of all, the Headless Horseman wasn't in Minnesota. That's not where that was. There's no Headless Horseman in Minnesota. A, it's too cold. No. And so Yeah, but that's the whole thing. Is you can have the bad weird thing for Halloween. Okay, the same thing with Christmas. You can do a Christmas episode. None of it has to make any sense. You can actually have everyone. You hear ho 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 and hear this stuff. Everyone looks up and the thing ends. The credits run. Is it Santa Claus? It's Santa Claus. The kids are gonna watch it because the kids like it's Santa Claus. And the audience realizes it's a Christmas episode. Of course, it's gonna be weird. You know. I mean, freaking what was the one that had Michael Keaton back in the day?
Family Ties?
Family Ties had
the Christmas Carol.
the Christmas Carol episode when he was visited by three spirits. Does anyone think? I mean, everything about that TV show was real and cool and everything outstanding. Does anyone think that Alex Keaton actually got visited by 3 ghosts? Does anyone like, you know, they can have a little conversation about stuff that's like, yeah, but remember that one day when Alex Keaton got the 3 ghosts knocking on his door? It's like, that was a Christmas episode, dude. It does Christmas episodes, Halloween episodes. They're not in the reality. That's the whole point. Give me a Matt Houston episode where he gets abducted by aliens. Okay, a Halloween episode where someone's in a haunted house, everything's going crazy. Give me, you know, Different Strokes when Arnold and Willis are being chased around the house by Jason. Give me the weird stuff, okay? Just give me the
space vampire episode of Buck Rogers.
Space vampire episode of Buck Rogers. I'm there for it, and I'm okay. I'm okay with it, you know? Is it a dream? Is it real? Who cares? It's Halloween, and no one gives a crap, okay?
It's aliens!
It's aliens! Funniest thing, Buck Rogers, all the aliens didn't look too alien, which I'm also okay with. I mean, Hawkman had the first skull cap, and you know, and
the coolest. Let's admit the coolest spaceship ever created in science fiction.
That was one of the best. That was one of the best. You know, that was one of the cool things. For that, the rules don't exist.
Yeah.
Okay. The rules of the universe, you can suspend them for a while, and the audience will get it because it's Halloween, and everyone understands Well, the Americans understand Halloween.
Yeah.
You know, we understand Christmas. You know, everyone looks up. Reindeer on the roof. Ho ho ho! The soot goes down the chimney. Is someone breaking into your house? Yeah, Santa Claus. It's fine. Everything's okay. You know, in real life, if that happened, if you and I were sitting here and we're talking about, and all of a sudden there was something on the roof and someone tried to come down the chimney, we'd be
Where
like,
are you? We've got our
we pulled our guns out. All right, old fat man, who are you? What are you doing here? But in TV land and movie land, it's Santa Claus. Mm-hmm. You know. I'm okay. We should be okay with that. The audience will be fine with that. And you as a director, you as a writer, go with that. It's absolutely okay.
But starting from page 1 and just kind of throwing crazy thing after crazy thing with no explanation and just building it up to this and not really even mentioning aliens or really teasing aliens. Maybe you might have one little, you know, hey, I got a weird sound on my radio that said, you know, hey, anybody out there kind of a thing or whatever. But in general, it's just, let's just freak out the audience. Let's do this. Let's do that. I mean, could you imagine if you would have watched The Ring and then at the end find out that
Samara's an
alien? Come on.
So, I would have rebelled. I would have burned down the theater.
And that's basically the fundamental principle of what we're talking about here is you've just got, you're going along.
So I want to make a new rule. You've heard of Godwin's Law, where the longer a conversation goes, the closer you get to having Nazis come in. We're going to have a Ripley Law, which is the longer and longer your weird world goes along in your movie, whatever, and you haven't explained anything, it's going to be aliens.
I think that's going down. You heard it here first.
The Ripley Law.
This is the Ripley Law. This is the foundations of the Ripley Law. In 2 years, it's going to be everywhere. It'll be on Wikipedia. Damn it!
Oh God!
And we better get credit for it.
Darn right, I better. Or I will alien all over you.
You know, now you could do something like throw aliens into a serial rabbit. You know, because you've got something wacky.
Because a serial rabbit's already pretty bad.
Yeah.
You know. Fred Flintstone had Alien after a while.
Now, see, you couldn't make Serial Rabbit an alien, though.
No.
Because we've already established
what he is. Yeah. But even even the Flintstones had an alien pop in at one point using the new Ripley Law we just established. The longer it goes, the more you're going to get aliens. But the thing was, let's be honest, the Flintstones pretty bad crazy as it is. Okay, and so the audience was like, okay. At that point, they'd kind of gotten to the point to where they had to inject something because the Flintstone had gotten kind of stale. It'd been around for a long time.
Yeah, and for anyone who would throw Lost up as a counter to that, Lost wasn't resolved.
No.
It still could be aliens.
Yeah.
They still haven't told me what the polar bear was.
Yeah, well, and the thing is about Lost, it's like,
I guess maybe they did at one point, but
there's
so many other things.
It wasn't a satisfactory. I mean, I never watched Lost. Okay, I'll be honest with you. I tried watching a couple of times, and I was like, okay, I can't with your bat weird. I can't. Okay,
and that's saying a lot because you love that.
I love that. And
that just goes to prove the point that they had no idea what they were doing because your bull detector must have gone off.
It went off in a big way. I was like, okay, no. I love, for those of you who don't know, there's a movie we watched back in the day called The Quiet Earth.
Somebody just did a review on that.
Oh yeah? Well, Brett, this is
the beginnings of the phrase.
This is 1992, by the way.
I'm surprised it's not a little bit earlier than that.
No, 1992. It was December 92 because we'd gone and seen. Once again, this is people don't understand my memory. You're about to see my memory. Just sit back for a second. It was the first weekend of December. I was at Texas A&M, and we had gone to see David Copperfield. Okay, and you drove up because for some reason I had my car and it was a terrible weather. And you're like, well, I'll come get you. And you picked me up outside of the chemistry building at Texas A&M when we drove to San Antonio, wherever the hell you live, right around the corner over here. And we got a limo, and we had Leslie Barlow and Carmela, what's her name, and we went and saw David Copperfield, and then we came back from that, and then the next day, they went home that night, and then we came back, and you're like, okay, I have something for you. And I'm like, and this is also the first time I ever watched MST3K. Because you had it on, I was like, what is this? And so we actually sat and watched like 4 or 5 episodes because you recorded a couple of them. And you're like, okay, we're going to watch a movie called The Quiet Earth. I'm like, okay. It's like, this is a movie that says, sit back, relax, we're going to f*** with your mind. And I'm like, I love those! And Brett's like, I know! So we sat down and watched The Quiet Earth. We had IBC root beer and homemade vanilla ice cream, and we made floats out of the big freaking things we got from Dick's Rowdy on the River. And we watched this movie, and it was batshit. I'm like, the hell is going on? But those movies I love, and so I love a show that's all batshit crazy, okay? But you have to have batshit crazy that still isn't just obviously the writers taking a dart and hurling it at the board. It's like, and polar bear. And Bob turns into smoke monster. And a crashed airplane takes off on the beach again. Like, what? Okay, because my bull meter goes off, and I'm bounced out of the movie, or the show, whatever else. And then I can't enjoy it anymore, because no matter how much I try to get back into it...
You're waiting for aliens.
I'm waiting for aliens. Aliens. Dharma's aliens, right? It's all aliens. It's always aliens. You and M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong. It's always freaking aliens. But yeah, that's the problem, is... I like crazy, I like weird, I like to sit back. That's why I like The Sixth Sense. That's why I like The Others. That's why I love Ghost Whisperer. That's why I like Sleepy Hollow. That's why I like those kind of spooky, weird, crazy, things are happening, it doesn't make any sense movies. That's why I like those movies, that a lot of the scary movies that have come out recently are really good. Because they have those like weird visual effects and like the things behind it you can't quite see. It's why I like Doctor Who. The old one, Capaldi. Capaldi, he was on his way down, but frickin' Dr. Karen can kiss my ass. I like that stuff because it's just that bad weird, what the hell is going on, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, and all the crazy stuff that goes on with it, and I love it. Okay. However, I'm only going to follow you so far. I'm going to follow you down the rabbit hole. I'm going to follow you along the weird path. I'm going to follow you along the winding trail into the woods, okay? But if you, at the end of it, give me aliens, I am going to hunt you down and slash your tires.
Yeah. not only is it a cheap way to get out of a box that you've written yourself. I mean, and don't give me this. Well, I had planned on it in the beginning. Even then, that's even worse because it's unoriginal. Let's throw that in there as well. It's done a million times.
It's the Deus Ex Machina with an alien.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's an alien ex machina, and it just stop.
Yeah.
You know, if the alien is part of it, okay, but you need to have the aliens have some kind of actual stakes in what's going on, like, I mean,
they have to be teased ahead of time.
Yeah.
They have to, you've got
have
a usual suspects it. You got to be able to go back and see the gold watch and see the pistol and see all these things.
You can't have Jaws out there somewhere and people just disappearing. Then all of a sudden it's a shark. You need to know it's a shark. You need to see
the fin.
You need to see the fin.